Ryan's a character. Also, his dad is a character who built a slide into his pool and rode a kayak down it. It went viral on Twitter. I actually interviewed him a month ago. Ryan just said he's a pathologist. He thought it'd be a good subject for the show, and I was like, all right. Funny enough, we didn't really talk that much about pathology. I don't even know what to title it because we talked about a bunch of different things, so we can call it Chatting with Kayak Slide Guy. Hey, I'm Andrew Hales. Welcome to another edition of Chatting With. Today I'm here with Doug. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
You're a pathologist?
Yes.
Or a retired pathologist?
Yep.
What's that entail? Why'd you choose that?
Well, when I was a kid, I loved science, and
Yeah.
I was good in math, and started off with a physics scholarship, but I found it wasn't very practical after a few years of physics. So I went into medicine and found that the patients complained a lot, and pathology is really the most scientific of all the fields. And so I went into pathology, and then I did a PhD in molecular biology. We looked at a mouse model for AIDS that was back in 1985 when it was quite topical.
You did research on mice. Did you also test different drugs on people? Have you seen Dallas Buyers Club?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you? So you know how they were testing that new drug? Yeah. Did you ever do anything like that?
Well, at the time, this was So I did my pathology residency from 80 to 85, right?
Okay.
And that's just when HIV was. Actually, we didn't call it HIV because we didn't know it was a virus. It was AIDS, and these patients were getting these strange infectious diseases. And I remember doing an autopsy in '82 on a patient from Haiti and had AIDS, and we didn't know what was causing it at the time. And so the guys from the funeral home came in, and they wanted the body, and they were going, "We won't touch it," and they wanted me to double bag it before they accept the body. But in '85, the virus was developed or discovered rather, and and then from that, you develop a test like HIV, testing for the antibody, and then from that you develop the drugs. So back then we didn't have the drugs. I mean, we didn't know anything about it yet.
And you're retired now. What do you do with your time now?
Oh, I like to I play the piano, so I like to play music, and I do a little bit of art, so I've been doing that, and I've been growing some cannabis and doing some genetics on it, trying to improve
Genetics?
it. Yeah. Well, I'm crossing them.
You're making new breeds?
Like Mendel. Mendel with the peas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So same thing. Just trying. And we've been doing it for 5,000 years, trying to develop. Domesticating our cows and our wheat, and also our cannabis.
Right. I don't know what I'm allowed to ask about the Crips affiliation.
Oh.
But again, at the end of the day, you always have the final edit.
Yeah, to edit it out. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can cut out anything you want. So.
Well, that's most recently.
So what's that about?
Okay, so I guess I've been the last 6 or 7 years I've discovered a whole new world, and that's in our black community here in LA. So I started going to clubs and things.
Like dance clubs?
The Savoy or in Hollywood here. And also there's some after hours that I found out about. And after hours go from 2 to 5. And there's various ones, and there's one that I started hanging out at on Manchester there, and that's where some friends of mine who are affiliated with Hoover started hanging out, and I'd been going there for 4 or 5 years, and one person said to me once, "We're going to make you an honorary member of Hoover." And I thought that was kind of interesting. And I went home, and at the time I was dating a woman who was actually with Long Beach Crips, and she was gangster type, you know, not very nice to me. I mean, I think the only thing she ever jugged was me. But anyway, I got one night I can tell you about. It was Tuesday night, and I had 4 tickets to see E40 in Anaheim, and she had her gang there, doing her shenanigans and trying to beat me up, and she had a machete and she was trying to hit me with this machete, and I had some pillows and I was trying to protect myself with the pillows because I don't, hit women.
She was trying to hurt you?
Yeah, she was that type. Yeah, so it was, it's time for this relationship to be over. I know because
what?
she was. Yeah.
Hold on. What did you do to upset her?
Everyone says that. No, this is her. She's mean to everybody. She's like that. Okay. I don't know why I started dating her, but
man,
my psychiatrist says I like the excitement. So there we go.
Okay.
At
the concert with the machetes.
Yeah. So and she wouldn't leave the house. She was kind of living with me. So anyway, there's a break in the action, and I grabbed my keys and I grabbed those 4 tickets and I phoned up a friend of mine who's sort of associated with the Hoover group, and I said to her, I got 4 tickets to E40, let's go. And so she got 2 girlfriends, the 3 girls and me in my van, and we're smoking cannabis and driving, down to, and drinking Hennessy, going down to Anaheim to see E40. And my arms were like bloodied, And they said, you need to go to the hospital. I said, no. We're going to the concert. We're going to the concert. So we went to the concert. We caught E40. Then we went back to the Savoy. It was a Tuesday night, and we went back to the Savoy. Then we went to the after hours, and 5 in the morning, and there was a couple of fights that night. But anyway, she's telling the story about me. So all these Hoover come over to my house that morning about 6 a.m. and they helped me, get my girlfriend out of the house, and then I got a restraining order on her.
Wow. Do they know where you live? Are you safe?
Oh, but they've been over to my house, yeah.
Everything's fine?
But they don't have anything on me. I'm not their enemy. Well, matter of fact, I'm friends with everybody.
Or I mean like your ex-girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, no, I've talked to her. She's cool.
Wait, is she part of the same group?
No, she's Long Beach. Long Beach.
All right.
Long Beach.
That's a different affiliation.
Yeah.
And how did you meet her? What's at the 2 to 5 stuff?
Else.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody.
Oh,
I mean, I was dating a girl who was from the jungle, right? Which is blood. Jungle's just on the other side of the hill. When you go over. I mean, they're all a little bit different too. Like Hoover, they don't even use blue now. They use blue and orange.
Huh.
And there's anher one, Watts. They use.
Wait, so Hoover is another name for Crips?
No.
No.
It's a subset.
Subset. Okay.
Subset.
Got it.
Yeah. No, there's all kinds of subsets. Hoover means Hoover Street, right?
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, the Rolling 60s are also, Crips, right?
Right.
And actually, the Bloods used to be Crips. I read about them. They broke off because they were fighting each other. But the Crips are always fighting with other Crips. Different groups. Like the Rolling 60s don't get along with Hoover. And one time we were at an after hours, and I was with my friend from Hoover, right, and 2 of his homegirls. And at my house was this girl and this guy who were from Rolling 60s, right? And I knew that they were enemies, So they said, come on, let's go to your house and we'll, go to the hot tub. I said, okay, but be cordial, and be cordial. And we get there, and sure enough, the girl who was from Hoover and the guy who was from 60s used to date 10 years ago.
Oh.
So I said, yeah, every Blood has a Crip bitch, every Crip has a Blood bitch, and every 60s has a Hoover bitch, and every Hoover has a 60s bitch.
Oh, man.
There's a pressure, to join. Otherwise, you might get beat up, in high school,
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever street you're on, that's who you're with, and a lot of pressure on kids.
So wait, do you feel like you're part of a gang?
No, not me. I'm talking about kids growing up. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm like OG. You know what that is?
Original gangster?
Yeah, or old gangster. So, I mean, somebody who's like over 60, okay, they get a certain status. They don't have to go gangbanging anymore. So I just sort of got OG without actually doing anything.
Okay.
No, they don't mess with me because I'm an old guy. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
young guys that are,
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to title this Chatting with a Pathologist, but now I don't know what to title it at all. Let's see.
I'm unique.
Do you think we'll ever find a cure for AIDS?
Well, it's pretty much cured now. I mean, we got good therapy. And if your
Yeah.
viral load is undetectable,
Right.
you can have safe sex. I mean, it's...
All right. But you just have
The
to take a
therapy is
pill. You
good.
just have to take a pill every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's not curable, but it's controlled. Let's
Yeah.
say that. I mean, it used to be, kill you very quickly. Now,
Right.
I mean, people are living a long time now with it.
Cool. You've written some books?
Oh, well, when I worked with Specialty, I wrote some books on the tests that we were doing because I was the medical director, and I used to go around and give. Well, I wrote scientific papers, and then wrote the books, which really described our tests and sort of what, even tests that we weren't doing, and sort of cutting edge, what would be a good test, and so it helped the scientists give them direction on what kind of tests we would like to develop, and then I would give lectures too to doctors, and tell them about the tests that we were doing.
All right.
So that was kind of my job. And I used to do that all through India and all through Southeast Asia and all through South America and all through the States.
2 years ago, I asked one of my really smart friends something that's like totally beyond my intellect that I could ask someone, and that would just came out of left field, and I memorized it. And you actually might be the first guest that can answer this question.
Okay.
Einstein fought the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics. How do you feel like it's influenced contemporary physics?
Oh boy. Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics, that was Bohr, right? I think.
I don't know.
Feynman said if anybody says that they understand quantum physics, they're lying. Because it's very difficult for us to understand it, because in our world, like we see a baseball and we can think of that as a particle.
Okay.
Right? And we can see a wave like, the ocean waves, we can think of those as waves. But if matter is both particle and wave, or light is both particle and wave, and it does have properties of both, and that's sort of where the, quantum theory, came from. It has both properties of
electron.
It has wave properties because there's some diffraction, and it has particle properties in that it's packaged. The energy is kind of packaged. The thing about quantum theory is it predicts everything. It predicts all those chemistry, elements, right, with all their orbitals and all their, valencies and all that.
Yeah, I'm just pretending like I understand. It just
predicts it all. It predicts everything there. It predicts it all. So it must be true.
Okay.
Although it's so bizarre that we could, that it's both particle and wave. So I guess that's
yeah.
That's my interpretation.
Do you believe in time travel?
No. I mean, humans can actually time travel?
Yeah.
No.
Or multiple universes?
Won't happen.
Won't happen?
Not in my lifetime. Not in yours either. Not in the human species' lifetime. Not in our planet's lifetime. Not in our sun's lifetime.
But the flux compactor or capacitor or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right.
Wormholes?
No, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
What else?
Some people say I look like Martin.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, the Doc. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually met Christopher Lloyd when I was like 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's...
No, I think here. You know what? We got this planet here, Earth, and that's the only planet we're ever going to have.
You don't think we'll make it to Mars?
Well, you might make it there, but we're not going to live there.
What do you think of the Matrix, or I guess the theory of determinism? I don't know. Do you think we're in a simulator at all?
Oh, I mean, everything's determined?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So that was Descartes, René Descartes.
Right.
And he developed the Cartesian coordinates, which is like the x-axis and the y-axis and the z-axis, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was starting to think, well, maybe, this world is particulate. And and Newton's laws came around that we could predict, if we knew the direction and the velocity of a particle, we could predict where it's going to end up. And he kind of said something like this: if we could predict every single particle in the entire universe, its direction and momentum, we can make those predictions. And he thought the whole universe was particulate except for one thing, the mind. He thought that was quite different.
Okay.
I think, therefore I am, is what he said.
Right. Huh.
I think, therefore I am.
But
he was wrong because chaos shows that you can't do that because it
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you have one body, you can predict lots of stuff. If you have a two-body problem, it gets so much more complicated, and a three-body problem is just so much astronomically more complicated.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming.
No problems.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have any questions for Doug, you can email him. The link is in the description. And I'll see you next week. Thank you.